certain amount. So then we give out permits to certain people.
Hello, and welcome to a Traveling Knitter podcast. My name is Steph, and I'm podcasting to you from my bedroom again in Dayton, Ohio. It is February 8th, a Saturday, and it snowed today. I probably put a clip at the beginning showing the snow, but yeah. I even had the window open because I felt a little nauseous again today. I'll get back to that at the end, but had the window open while I was reading a book, and it was really nice. I did have my heater off, so I wasn't, heating and taking in cold air, but whatever. There are no completed quests, unfortunately, for this episode. I think I'm still on track with the donation hat project because I had knit so many in January, so I think I'm good. But for completed quests, I have been working on the 2 socks that I've been knitting. So where are they? I do have a fully half object on my GLADYS socks by General HOGBUFFER. I'm pretty sure I had a full half object, but I'm just going to show it to you again. So this is Knit Picks Hawthorne in the City Lights Speckle, and the toe is a Once Upon a Corgi mini from the A Court of Thorns and Roses Advent calendar. And I'm pretty I'm irritated that I couldn't get 2 full socks out of the Knit Picks Hawthorne. This is the second time that I've knit with Knit Picks Hawthorne, and I just don't like it. It's okay, but I don't like the stitch definition that it gives, and it's not super soft. I don't like the way that it's plied, I guess. Yeah, it's just not my favorite, and I don't think I'll be buying any more of it. I believe I do have one more skein of Hawthorne, so obviously I'll knit that. It's not that I hate it, it's just I don't think I'll be repurchasing Hawthorne. So like when I touch the mini skein, and I can tell right here is the change to the Knit Picks. Like without looking, it's just such a noticeable difference. It is a really pretty colorway though. It's gray and flecks of blue, slight green. There's even some purple. I'm pretty sure the camera does not pick up on the colors. In the viewfinder, it looks really, really dark. It is not that dark. I mean, it's dark, but I can see the blues and the greens. It's pretty. So what have I actually knit? This much. So I have a stitch marker down here, and I can't remember if that's really where I was at the last time I was podcasting, or if this was already there. I don't remember, but essentially it was right before the arrows was where this guy is. And I am now on the heel. I'm not quite halfway, but I've started the heel. I actually don't mind the heel. What I don't like is picking up the stitches and doing the gusset. That's not my favorite part because I have to count and constantly check to make sure I'm increasing on both sides or decreasing on both sides, and yeah. So this is what I've got, and I'm ready to be done with these socks because again, this is just not my favorite thing to knit with. I really hope that I can get to the exact same point as I got on the last socks, and that I have enough in my mini. I weighed them and there's 5 grams left. So this is gonna be cutting it close. But, so if I hold up the sock blocker, there is like this whole piece. So there you can see that's the sock blocker. There is a lot of fabric here. So normally in socks you want negative ease, and I've got a sock hitting me in the face. I definitely have a lot more fabric. And these socks, my intention with them was to be like socks that I wear in my boots. But I don't buy boots that are large. So a lot of my boots are pretty narrow, and bulky socks don't feel comfortable in them. So this is a bit of a bummer. This year, all of my boots are very form-fitting to my feet. Like one of them, I typically don't even wear socks with those boots. If it's a long day, then I'll wear socks. But if I'm just going out somewhere for a little bit and I come back, like I'm not wearing socks with them. So, I'm not really sure which of my boots I will wear these with, but that was the intention for these. The next pair of socks, I have completed another half object. Gosh, the color is just so dark. I guess because the lighting is very yellow and it's just my bedroom lighting, but I am loving these socks. So my stitch marker or progress keeper is right here. So I knit this. Ugh. Oh, now I gotta break this. There. So these are the Coffee Talk socks by TRACIE Miller, who is one of the grocery girls. And I love these socks. I love the color of the yarn. I love the contrast of the purple with the blue. It's very interesting to have the garter stitch as the toe. I will say I'm not as far, so I have not cast on the second pair, and I should be further than I am. Okay, there's hair and I'm trying to get it. I should be further than I am, but the reason why I'm not is because I had to knit this twice because I had a really hard time with figuring out where I was gonna end this. So I knit it twice, which I want to say I talked about that I was gonna have to rip it out. So yeah, I did rip it out and then re-knit it, and I ripped out a lot. And even now, this is still a bit longer than it really needs to be, but I was not ripping it out a third time. But I really like these, really like them. It has a nice stitch pattern on the front, which I'm not really sure if you're going to be able to see because of the lighting situation. You can see the lighting better, but it's just a stitch pattern in the front with a garter border around it, and then you do have garter, like a garter toe up here, but stocking out in the back still. And then The heel is actually a square heel, which I've never done before. While I was knitting it, I was like, this is weird, because it really does form a square. Like, can you see that? It's it's literally a square. How cool is that? I've never done that before. Don't know if it's gonna fit, but it's cool. New technique. Look at the back here. Oh man, why does it look so dark? Also, it looks like it's pooling. Isn't that so funny? I think I mean, I've talked about this before, how on the on camera, the pooling gets picked up, but in real life, this isn't pooling. Oh, it's really pretty, very pretty. This is Luna Bud Knits, or Luna Bud Yarn, in the Buddy base, which is a 75/25, and it is the Thanatos colorway, and the blue, light blue, sky blue is a Woolberry Fiber mini from the Advent Calendar of 2018. So really pretty, really like this. I'm excited to wear these socks. The next project that I put some work in is in this adorable bird bag. I freaking love this bag. I highly recommend it. I love the linen quality. I freaking love the bird. Love the bird so much. And the bag is just really nice. So this is the BOHO Blush by ANDREA MOWERY, and this is what I've got done so far. So last time I podcasted, and I do believe I did move the stitch marker because I hadn't done much, but I made some progress. So I did the full garter portion, and then I am on, or I just finished this section. This is it section 4? Yeah, so this was section 3, and then this part that, it's feather and fan, basically. But this section right here is section 4. And I am just starting section 5, which is another garter section. So the yarn is Cozy Colors, or is it Crazy Colors? Cozy Color Works. It is 100% superwash merino, and their website is cozycolorworks.com. The colorway is Brick. I really like it because it has these flecks that look like tweed, and the colorway is reminiscent of what the sample pattern is in, and I really like that color. I like the way it looks, so I think this is going to be a really pretty shawl. I'm curious as to what the size is going to be because I'm working with a light fingering. So I'm thinking this is going to be smaller, and I haven't really checked what is the last section. Is it just garter? And then, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just garter, so I can extend it if I have the yarn to do it. Now I do want to talk about something because the counts were throwing me off. So this is a paid for pattern, so I'm not going to explain a lot about it, but in section 4, I was thrown off. So in case you're knitting this and you're thrown off for a moment, section 4, you're starting with 189 stitches, and then the first row, you're going to be increasing in pattern by 19 stitches, so you'll get a total of 28 or 208. And then you do a bunch of stuff, and then at the entire end of section 4, you'll have increased by 19 stitches, which comes to 227. But then in brackets, it says you should have 229 stitches. And I was just so confused. And this was before I'd even, I had finished like the first row, and then I was just looking ahead and I was like, okay, 19. And then I did the math. I'm like, wait a second, that doesn't add up to 229. So I'm like, okay. So then I look at the next section, and by like doing some math, I was like, okay, that to start section 5, I actually do need 227 stitches. So is this just like a mistake? And then I messaged the email address that's included, which I think is maybe incorrect, because so at the bottom of mine, it says that you can email Andrea Renee Knits at Gmail, but then when I emailed it, I got a reply back that said I was supposed to email a different email address if I had pattern questions. So I don't know why that email address is not included in the pattern. But either way, someone did respond back to me within 24 hours, which I immensely appreciate it. But in that 24 hours, I had knit the whole section, and I figured it out. So every other row, you're yarn overing at the ends and then dropping them again. So because we were starting on a right side, we would have had the yarn overs. So even though it's only 19 stitches increased, you technically had 21 more. You had an extra 2 that you would then drop. So I was just like thrown off because of the yarn overs. So just in case you get confused when you're looking at the pattern and you're like, wait, even though I only increased this much, why do I have more? It could potentially be the yarn overs. So just as a tip, just in case you are knitting this or want to knit it and you see that the math doesn't add up. It does. So yeah, that is the shawl that I'm working on. And then lastly, I did cast on for a new hat. Not very far, I'm just on the brim. Literally, I am 3 rounds in. I'm on my 3rd round. This is Loops and Threads Impeccable in the true gray color. One of the gals in my knitting group, she is giving birth to a baby, and my knitting group made a blanket. So we made squares, and I made a gray square. So this is the leftovers, basically half the skein at least. So I figured, you know what, let's cast this on in a hat, because I'm sick of using that blue color, because I had 2 skeins that were basically that blue color. So I have a lot of donation hats that are blue, and I was just really wanting to work with a different color and a different yarn. So I cast on, what is it? The Waffle Hat by Gail Babel, and it's just another waffle pattern, but this one I actually did pick out from Ravelry. It's free. You're supposed to cast on 76 stitches, but I did not. I cast on as many as I could from what I had with my long tail that was divisible by 4. So I don't know what I have, 68 or 72, something like that. It really doesn't matter. Again, they're donation hats. I want a variety of sizes for a variety of heads. So there you go. And that is everything that I've been knitting. Not as much as I would like, but I'll get to why in the life update section. But nothing in Smaug's Trove, so let's just jump into the books. So this is just a section that I call a novel idea, where I talk about the books that I've read since the last episode. The last time I filmed a podcast was on January 20th, so it's about 3 weeks. Same with that. I didn't read a ton of books. I managed to finish 3 books, and the first one being Mr. Dickens and His Carol by Samantha Silva. So I listened to this on audio. I had every intention of listening to this in December, but I think so did everyone else. So I did not get it off of hold until the end of January, but I still listened to it. It was interesting because I was thinking it was going to be similar to the movie that came out with, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Downton Abbey, Beauty and the Beast, British, also narrated the Murder on the Orient Express. Blonde. Why can't I remember his name? Either way, I was like, I just lost my train of thought. Why was I trying to think of him? But he was Mr. Dickens in that movie. So I thought it was going to be like that. No. I mean, it was sort of the same story. It was about how he's close to financial ruin because his books have not been selling well. And his publishers are like, you have to write a Christmas book. He's like, no, I don't want to write a Christmas book. And like, well, you're contractually obligated to do this. And he's like, what? And he had signed a clause, like one of the clauses in his contract said that if he didn't do something, then he would have to pay back all the royalties or whatever. But yeah, so he's then, not wanting to write this book, but then he does. But while he's doing it, he essentially turns into Scrooge, I feel like. He kind of alienates his family, alienates quite a lot of friends, and then he meets a woman. And he sort of obsesses over the woman. But throughout the book, he kind of meets characters that then go into his books. So, like, just the names and things. It was interesting, and then the end, I was like, what? Really? Because it had a... I can't, like, say what I didn't like, because that's the plot twist. I thought the plot twist was really annoying. And I didn't really like the character development. And also, I felt sometimes confused. So I was listening to it on audio, and normally, I'm paying attention, and normally I can follow it while doing other things. But with this one, every now and again, I'd realize, wait, what is happening? What? So I felt like things happened abruptly, and like, if I didn't have my full attention on it, I wasn't catching what was happening, especially once we start realizing what the twist is. And then again, because it's not something I expect at all. And I mean, like, that's in a bad way. Like, a lot of times you're like, yeah, I didn't want to see the twist, but this was because of the nature of the twist. I didn't expect it. Yeah. So I gave it 3 stars. It was okay. I don't regret listening to it. It was a holiday-ish book, but really not super holiday-ish. So it didn't feel weird listening to it, not in December. The next book I read was The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I would pull up the book because I do have it, but I literally just packed it maybe 2 hours ago. I'm moving, so every weekend I pack at least 2 boxes of stuff, so I don't have to scramble and do it all at the end. So I finished the book and I was packing some books and that one went in. But you'll have seen a picture of the cover. Either way, Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden is the first book in a trilogy that is set in like, not prehistoric, but like Middle Ages of Russia. And the main character, she starts out as a very young child, and then by the end of the book she is a teenager, and she lives kind of like on a compound with her family. Her dad is the like chief of the village, and this basically like a priest comes to their village and is trying to, he wants everyone to like officially convert to, I think it's Christianity. He's trying to, he wants everyone to get rid of the old ways, which is there's like little spirits, or I kind of, in my mind, I'm thinking them as gremlins. Like they're these little creatures that are gods of whatever little area they're at. So there's like one that's for the kitchen stove thing that warms up the home. People sleep on top of it. So there's that little dude. There's another dude that's like the protector of the stables. There's another one that lives in the lake. There's one that lives out in the woods. So there's all these little creatures that no one can see other than our main character and her stepmom, because they come from the same family line. They have like the same blood, but so you would typically like leave offerings, and then they would protect your home or whatever thing that they're the protector of. So the priest is like, don't do that. You know, turn away because that is a sin. You need to follow God, all that. And so the evils of the world then retaliate, essentially. So there's this fantastical element, but then also this religious element, which is steeped in truth, because of, you know, the changing of religion at that time. So I really enjoyed it. I'm excited to read the second one and the third one. I did see Catherine Arden speak and got the book signed, and I did end up giving it 4 stars. And then the last book, I do have it right here. This is Sophia, Princess Among Beasts by James Patterson with Emily Raymond. This book stunk. I thought this was going to be like a historical fiction. No. So this was like YA fantasy. I would put this in like the kids section. This was, if this was crap YA. Just the sentence structure was just so bad. Like literally, I'm trying to find an example. But so you would go like, this whole page could literally span hours of activity. And it was just like one sentence here, one sentence there. Like it just, there was, the descriptions were just crap. It just wasn't good writing. And I'm pretty sure this is my first James Patterson book, and this does not make me want to read any other books by him. It was just bad. So this book is about, Sophia, who is a princess, and her lands that her father rules, so they've got like the castle and then the village around them. The king likes to call all the villagers beasts. So constantly the villagers are referenced as beasts. And like, I even think it says it multiple times. She's among beasts, or you beast. Like, that was so annoying. So we get it. We get it. You don't need to hit teenagers over the head with the symbolism of the poor people being beasts. It was so annoying. So I gave this book 2 stars. I reserve 1 star for books that I really, really hate. This one's on the borderline of it, and I think it's more because it tricked me. This cover looks like a historical fiction cover. Reading the inside flap, it sounds like a historical fiction. Reading the actual book, it's crappy YA fantasy. There's also a weird, like, romance, which to me didn't make sense why it was even happening because of just the background. And they're trying to make the main character be like this strong female. She was not. She was not a strong female. And then all of a sudden she would like be strong. You're like, what are you? Her character did not make sense. Like, she wasn't consistent. She would be meek, and then all of a sudden she's like the strong-willed person. And I'm like, what? You haven't been strong-willed at all in this book. Why all of a sudden are you strong-willed here and acting like that's how you always are? It did not make any sense. I don't know who wrote this. Did James Patterson write it? Did this Emily Raymond write it? How did they write this together? I don't know. Who wrote more of this? Whose language and sentence structure is this? Is this James Patterson or is it Emily's? I don't know, but whoever wrote it, I did not like it. Crap. So don't read that book. Don't recommend it. So that takes us into life. So I was supposed to podcast last week. Last week was my birthday. I was sick. But it's not. So I got sick 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I got sick 2 weeks ago. And, which it always stinks when you're sick. And I still had to, like, I was really sick on the weekend. Had to go get my new driver's license. So my picture is not good because, I was so sick. Like, I woke up, went to the BMV, did all the things, and then came home and went back to sleep. And then Sunday, I pretty much slept all day. Monday, I worked from home because I had an eye appointment. So went to the eye appointment, came home, and worked, and then went to sleep again. So by Tuesday, I felt okay again, so, worked. And then Thursday, I lost my voice. So you can kind of actually still hear that it's a little bit froggy. It's like lower. Yeah, it's lower, and I don't know, it has more of like a rumbly timbre to it. So lost my voice on Thursday. And then Friday, my company had a winter party. So instead of a holiday party, winter party. So I went to that, and there was a live band. And the live band, I guess just the way that the building was, it was so unbelievably loud that I was having to kind of shout to be heard, which, having lost my voice on Wednesday, my voice wasn't really recovered yet. So all of that shouting, and then I'm assuming the alcohol doesn't help either, but the shouting, and then just because I was talking, because then I celebrated my birthday with my friends, So I didn't go to sleep until about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I've been consistently shouting or talking. My voice was gone. It was so bad. Oh, so bad. So I didn't get my voice back until, I mean, it's still not back, but I wasn't able to talk until Tuesday. So Monday, I actually, like the next Monday, I ended up working from home again because I had vertigo. So it was just a culmination of all these things, which 2 years ago I was also very, very sick on my birthday. So just, I guess it's just gonna happen. So yeah, Monday, well, it started on Sunday. So Sunday I felt fine other than not having a voice. And then Sunday night around 7 o'clock, I just all of a sudden got super nauseous and I went to sleep like immediately. So then when I woke up at around 3 a.m. and my headache was just so bad. So I went and got some medication, but as I was like walking to get the medication, the nausea just hit me again. And that's kind of when I was like, you know, I don't think I'm going to be able to safely drive to work in this state. So yeah, so then I was nauseous the whole day and I'd be laying in bed and I'd be okay. But then as soon as I like got up to go to the bathroom or whatever, it just like hit me again. So I ate some grits because grits don't really have a lot of taste or flavor to them. And I was hoping that would settle my stomach. Nah, I don't think it really did anything. But then the next day I felt fine. So for, and on Saturday, which was my actual birthday, I went to a restaurant with some of my friends in Dayton and it was really nice. The food was really, really good. Kind of checking off a bunch of nice restaurants that I haven't gotten to yet before I move. Kind of like a bucket list. So knocked another one off. And then we went and grabbed some drinks at the, it's a bar called Barrel House. It's actually where my knitting group meets. It's kind of, I always describe it as more of a coffee shop bar. It has like a coffee shop vibe to it. It was really crowded, which was weird. I guess normally I'm there during the week and not on a Saturday, but yeah. So I had a really nice birthday other than not having a voice. There will probably be cuts or edits in this episode because I am coughing. That is one of the lingering things that I'm still dealing with is the coughing. And I think my asthma is aggravating it. So I do have a humidifier. I have stayed the week in Columbus this week. I'll be staying next week. I think that's it. Oh, the U.S. Women's National Team is going to the Olympics. We beat Mexico on Friday, which was exciting. That game was at 10 o'clock at night, which I was not excited for. So it was up past midnight, but it's okay. We play again on Sunday. I'm pretty sure we play Canada. Now I'm not quite remembering who we're playing, but either way. So yeah, we're going to the Olympics, which honestly, we knew we were going to the Olympics. I think that's it. I think this is going to be a pretty short episode, which is going to make it nice to edit as well as to upload. Maybe it will only take 6 hours to upload. Who knows? But thanks everyone for, gotta itch my nose. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. And being a normal YouTuber, please like and subscribe because it helps the video get out to everyone and it also makes me happy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All the show notes will be in the Ravelry group, so if you haven't joined, please go ahead and join that, or you don't have to. Totally up to you. And all the social media should have been at the beginning, but just as a refresher, we are a traveling knitter podcast on Instagram. The Ravelry group is a traveling knitter podcast. If you like to follow me on Goodreads, I am LuluisCrazy. LuluisCrazy is also my personal Instagram as well as my Ravelry name. Thank you everyone, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.